Hello and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. We recommend SodaStream. Bring some effervescence to your D&D sessions. I'm here with everybody. Hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
We are sitting face to face. I'm with Johnny. Say hello, Johnny.
Hello there.
Joss. Say hello, Joss.
Hi.
Graham. Say hello, Graham.
Dave.
Nico. Say hello, Nico.
Hello, Nico.
Dan. Say hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
We are without, as you will notice,
The finest
and
D&D players.
Lucas. We are here face to face for the first time in a year and a half. We're having a wonderful time in the great gathering of the elders of the hilltop. Everybody enjoy themselves?
Yes, we are
enjoying ourselves. It's wonderful to be sitting face to face. We've been playing loads of D&D over the course of a weekend. We've been playing the Alien RPG, which I think we all enjoyed. Did we all enjoy it?
We all
did.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, really good.
That's kind of it. We just thought we'd record a little thing and say hello to everybody. Hello, readers. Let's push on with episode 47 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast, Dice Dice Baby. Right, okay. So, how is everybody?
Oh,
Very well,
absolutely top notch.
Excellent. Do we need to start with the recap? It is Paul's turn to recap, but, I mean, do we want to do that? Or should we just start with levelling up and recap a little bit before we do anything else? Or what do you want to do?
Let's just start with leveling up.
Let us start with levelling up. Let us start with...
Well, let's start with the recap.
Oh, don't make me do a recap.
Mm.
All right, no, I'll do the recap. Here we go. Here's the recap. We fought... We fought some things. We won. It was a very, very close shave. We escaped by the skin of our teeth, and we argued a lot. I think I can't really remember. And we escaped really, really just kind of by the skin of our teeth. We escaped.
Terrible. No knowledge at all of what we fought. A perfect encyclopedic knowledge of the treasure is about to come up.
We fought doppelgangers.
What
We fought a doppelganger in the form of Hesti, and then we fought also a doppelganger in the form of Marzana, and they did a fireball, and Alessandra was the only one not to get caught by that. And then everybody else ran away, and then Alessandra had to follow. And then we went up back through the tunnel.
But that was all
the
previous week.
Can I stop you there? This is absolutely hopeless.
It's hopeless.
Absolutely
Was that the
hopeless.
previous week?
I suggest that recap was so bad, we should remove a magic dice.
The others have done surprisingly well with that. You have done...
We did a long rest.
You have reached the very low bar that I
We did a
set,
long rest, went back down.
but no more. Yeah. Let's not get sorry about this, everyone. I mean, both of you. But Paul is, Anyway.
Useless, I think, is the word you're looking for.
We left things in the hidden complex of rooms underneath the abandoned warehouse in the district of Evenstar called Midnight by the docks.
I'm insulted.
And as we left things, Telakin is the name of this crime boss, doppelganger crime boss you defeated. I didn't get into it last week, but that's its name. And you've got Telakin's gear, and you leveled up. Let's do leveling up first. Let's go around the table, running from my left to my right. Let's start with Lucas.
Fangs of the fire snake.
I'm sorry, what?
No. Hello? Lucas?
Lucas.
No, that's my new elemental attunement.
I thought we'd overheard you ordering a takeaway. Anyway, sorry. So tell us about...
So basically, it gives me... I can spend a key point, and then it increases my reach by... This is the leveling up. Yeah, this is what I get at this level. I can increase my reach by 10 feet for unarmed strikes. So that basically means that if I do the first strike as an unarmed strike, I can do 4 strikes with 15-foot reach.
Whoa.
A hit this for this attack deals fire damage instead of bludgeoning. And if you spend 1 key point when the attack hits, it also deals an extra 1d10 fire damage.
Sorry, I'm not going to...
Bloody
That's
hell.
a key point, though.
How many key points do you have?
Sorry, you're
About
absolutely
5,
sure it's not
6.
extended to 10 feet.
6.
It's extended by 10
By
feet.
10 feet, yes.
This has got to be checked on. Okay.
But it's 6 key... I mean, I've got 6 key points, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you can do it 6
So
times.
So you can only do this insanely overpowered thing 6 times per short rest.
So I can do it 1 key point to be able to do it. And then obviously if you want to do a flurry of blows...
another key point to do it
that's
again.
another key point for the flurry of blows. So you could basically do it 3 times with flurry of blows. And you have to use unarmed strike, so it'd basically be not using the quarterstaff.
Now you put it like that, Lucas. It's just
sounds like it's been diminished.
Almost not worth doing.
Yeah.
Is that everything? Is that it? Don't tell me there's any more.
Yeah, and also I think now my unarmed strikes are now treated as magical weapons.
Oh, are they now? Okay, yeah. So you've got...
So that's the...
Special magical weapons that you can attack with about 80 times a round, out to 15 feet.
Yes.
Right. So basically, Mickey Rourke in Iron Man 2, which is what I've been watching as part of my Marvel marathon, which we'll get into a bit later. Okay, next is Sessions. Graham.
Okay, well, clearly not as exciting as Parker. I took another level in Cleric, which gets me 4th level spells, and that's it. The 4th level spells are quite interesting, as far as I can
Yeah, they are.
Flying cards at...
So what did you take?
4D,
well, you get 1 slot, I think, but I get a couple of always known spells. I get Dimension Door.
Oh, I took that.
Did you? Okay, well, I get it anyhow. And
I think what we should do is not level up anymore.
I quite like leveling up.
Well, I've been reading ahead in the adventure and thinking, oh, that's a challenge. And now, of course, I'm thinking, no, it's not. Not for the teleporting, whirly arms of death mob. Okay, yes.
So basically, I get Dimension Door and Polymorph as domain spells. So they're always prepared.
Polymorph, I mean, yourself, other? How does it work now? Is there still a polymorph?
It is other.
It's other.
Oh, so you can turn people into toads?
Into toads, into gnats, yeah.
If you kill them, they turn back into what they were. It's not quite that good.
No.
So if you turn them into an ant and then tread on them, they turn back into and they have all their hit points minus what you did on the ant. It's not that great.
No, but it's okay. I don't have to learn it. And the other one I like the look of is Banishment.
Ooh.
Okay, tell us about Banishment.
Well, that sends people to other planes.
When you say people, are we talking about people who come from other planes?
No. If you come from another plane, you go one place. If you don't, you go. It has different effects.
Right. Okay.
So that's quite cool.
Your pages haven't got stuck together, have they, Graham? No. You haven't flicked too far ahead.
Well, I might change my mind now that I know you've done that.
Well, why don't we do you? You are next round the table, Burple.
Well, it's the same. It's the same for Burple. He gets a fourth level spell.
Yeah, you get a 4th.
I was going to pick Dimension Door, but I was torn between that and Confusion.
Oh, I don't get that. That's quite nice.
Confusion, it would be more of an offensive type spell, and I was like, Dimension Door is just too useful because you can take somebody with you.
I'm sorry, but I'd always pick Dimension Door out of those two.
Yeah, but I only get 1, so it's like...
We can only cast 1, but you can presumably know more than 1.
No.
Oh.
I only know one new spell.
Oh dear.
I could take 2, but I've swapped it out for something else. So I've swapped out Heroism in for Fairy Fire.
Well,
but I could alternatively swap it in for Confusion. Fairy Fire is quite useful, you see.
Fairy Fire is a good spell.
Yeah. If I can see invisibility, it kind of rounds that whole thing off.
Yeah. It's an odd one, Fairy Fire. It's like, you never think of it as being, I don't know, but every edition, consistently, Fairy Fire is like, oh, okay, yeah, decent spell. Never sounds great. Sounds like a bit wishy-washy. But no.
No, it's good. Yeah. Invisible creatures won't work.
Are you deciding now? Is that a decision, or are you... thinking?
Well, what do we put? I mean, if we can Dimension Door, I mean, it might be... If I had Dimension Door as well, we could Dimension Door 4 of us.
And leave Parker behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Let's do that.
Well, it's bug rafts I was really thinking about.
Well, Parker can reach from wherever he is. Parker can stay at home and just reach out through the window.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's 600-foot range, Dimension Door. It's pretty chunky. What do you think, Graham? What do you think, Lucas? What does everyone think?
Take Dimension Door. It's a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, but it's not very offensive, is it?
No,
I mean, the problem with Burple is he's not very offensive.
Well, I was offended.
Well, you good.
I think you're the only one that can cast offensive spells.
I'm going to take Confusion just for the variety.
What does Confusion do?
Done.
It's a 15-foot radius, and you basically roll on a d10, and on 4 out of 5 every round, you end up either missing your round or hitting somebody next to you, or just basically.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. There's a 1 in 5 chance that you act normally. Otherwise, you either stand around doing nothing or just randomly hit things.
Or run away, run in a random direction.
It's one of them. Right, got you.
Yeah, it's great.
It's the same system as the what we would call the Uncle Buggy program.
Yeah.
Talking of whom, Uncle Buggy, tell us about being 7th level.
Uncle Buggy. Well, he's taken another level of cleric, so he's a 5th level barbarian, 2nd level cleric.
Yeah.
Basically, barbarians get deathly boring after 5th level once they've got their second attack, so I don't want to do anything more with a barbarian. I'm now going to focus on cleric and do spells that are going to enhance my attacking capabilities.
That's interesting.
And healing.
Yourself?
Yeah, so I'm basically going to stand at the front and do, I've said that so many times, do loads of damage.
we know we've heard it so many times. Still waiting.
You're a 2nd level cleric, so you don't get access to anything new, right?
No, not really. Just another 1st level spell. But I think I do get something to do with my channel divinity. I have this destructive wrath, which means if I use my channel divinity as a sort of reaction, I can do maximize my Wrath of Storm, Thunder, or Lightning damage to do 16 points of damage. So that could be the thing that finishes my opponent off.
Is that the reaction power?
Yes, it's a reaction.
And it's 2d8, so you basically maximise it using your channel divinity.
Yeah.
So I really like how all of these things, all these little switches, all interlock. I know D&D, I know 5th edition is not as kind of fiddly as, widgety as Pathfinder or whatever, which I think is our natural home, isn't it, in terms of editions?
Well, except that we're getting old.
No, I like 5.
And so simple works.
I like simple.
It's just that we needed to get to this kind of level. Yes, you start to hit the sweet spot, and things start to interlock and connect, and it becomes a bit more complex as a game, and that's what we want. So that's good. Any other interesting things?
No.
Are people taking average for hit points?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. In that case, we will
roll
finish
20
with the new addition to our adventurers, Alessandra.
Hello. Alessandra doesn't get any choices, but she gets a defensive and an offensive kind of additions. So she gets the 4d6 sneak attack, so it becomes increasingly useful.
Yeah.
And she
straight rogue.
And she also gets evasion.
Oh.
Does
evasion work as well as evasion always has, or is it?
When you are subject to an effect that allows you to make a dex saving throw to take only half damage, you instead take no damage if you succeed on your saving throw, and only half damage if you fail.
Yeah, that's cool.
Disapprove.
So she can stay in the game for longer. She doesn't have huge amounts of hit points. So...
Oh, now there's an interesting question. So if I've got my 15-foot reach for one round, does that mean that as long as I'm within 15 foot of the target that you get your sneak attack? Because I'm threatening their square.
If you're
fuck off.
If you're threatening the square, I believe that's the case, yes.
What I really don't like at this level of D&D is how all the rules start to interlock with each other and all the powers start to kind of connect. And you get that extra level of complexity, which I think we can all live without.
I think the thing is that the assassin style that she's going for means that she is probe, so she wants to go in and go first. And
great.
Seriously, her strength is going to be if she can get in and attack somebody before they have a chance to take an action, then she's pretty strong. And these things that have come up allow her then to stay in. She's got the ability to go at range if need be with the crossbow, but because she's got the crossbow feat, she does that at base to base combat.
Don't really know much about her though. She's a bit of a stranger.
Well, you'll find out over time.
She's an assassin. Should we be hanging around with assassins?
No, I think we should ditch her at the first opportunity.
Fine.
This is more like it.
That's fine.
So we've got Burple. We've got We've got So we're all done, including And if it is
anyone dare mention the M word?
You've also got some loot. There's been a lot of chatter this week.
A lot.
Both of our dear readers, I warn you now, it will not have escaped your notice that we struggle, or rather, they struggle to divide up loot. There's been a lot of discussion about the best method to do so from now on. We have a process, dear readers, around how to allocate magic in the future to potentially cut down the number of arguments and the hours dedicated to them. I have to say that I'm not sure that the solution that has been elected is actually going to do that, but we're going to give it a try. We're going to try something called the magic dice system. I am now going to try and explain it to you, but I'm not going to do it in detail because in detail I just would lose the will to live. Just so that you've got some kind of clarity about what we're about to do as we get into it. Each of our characters is allocated a number of dice that they can roll when trying to win a magic item from the pot of magic items. That number of dice is reflective of how many magic items they already have. So if you've got lots of magic items, you have fewer dice to throw into the contest than if you have very few magic items. So far, pretty straightforward. The next part of it is that they have to split those dice between the different items that they're going for. So if you have 10 dice and 3 items, you might allocate 3 to one, 3 to another, 4 to the last one. It's up to you. You can allocate however many dice you feel you need to give yourself a decent chance of winning the items that you really want. And you may want to withdraw entirely from contests for items that you're not interested in. So far, so good? Everybody happy with that so far?
Yep.
Other than that, there's not much else to say. If there's a draw between 2 people contesting for the same item, then they roll their dice again. The idea is that you have more dice to throw in more effectively for the items that you want if you're falling behind the others, and it may serve to even out things. More importantly, it might be quite fun to listen to because it turns into a little bit of a game. We've got 4 items in the pot this evening, and we are going to try this new system out. First of all, I think we should introduce our contestants. We should have got music or something.
A question.
Go on.
Are we aggregating the dice or rolling all the dice to get the highest individual number?
You're aggregating the dice. That was the whole point of it.
It was never that clear.
That didn't last long. You're all the dice that you're allocating to a particular contest.
And adding them up.
Yep.
Okay, so now I see
rather
what you
than
meant.
seeing who gets the highest individual number on a single dice.
Now I know I understood what you meant.
Because if you did the individual dice, you'd have much more variability.
Adding them all up, yeah.
No, if you add them all up, then by having more dice, you're bound to win.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
You're much more likely to. If you do it on an individual dice, the people with the lower number of dice have got a bigger outside chance of winning.
But you're going to get into much more kind of draws and stuff like that. There won't be.
Then you have roll-offs.
Yeah, but I think part and parcel of this was that it was supposed to be kind of straightforward and quick, as well as fun.
I think the thing that we should feed into the discussion at this point is that Graham has by far the fewest dice.
Yes,
in this upcoming contest.
Yes.
And therefore, everything's gained by the whole thing being massively swingy and dynamic. Let's go through the players. Burple has 10 magic... Burple, come on down. Welcome to the show. Burple has 10 magic dice to throw into the contest. Uncle Buggy.
Uncle Buggy.
Family in the audience. Big night out for Uncle Buggy and the Buggy family.
Thank you.
He says they're his family. 9 magic dice to throw into the contest. Sessions, looking grumpy at the back. 6 magic dice to throw into the contest. The new player... or rather the new character, Alessandra, who basically doesn't have any magic, as a result has 12 magic dice to throw into the contest.
I think we should take some more.
Last and also least, Parker, who is also festooned with magic items, has 6 dice to throw into the contest. What our players are going to be doing is picking the items that they want the most and throwing in as many dice from their total as they feel might win them the item that they want.
Except actually, I would like to give up an item.
Oh, Burple. Okay, so you're ready to gamble.
Right.
So the way this works, ladies and gentlemen, is that Burple can raise the number of dice he has available to the competition by sacrificing an item into the pot, thereby changing his magic dice number. We're not going to go into the maths of it now because we don't understand them. But what are you going to sacrifice, Burple?
Are we rolling for the magic now, or are we rolling? Are we going to go and find people and maybe find a magic?
I suppose there is a motivation to sell stuff that you have, turn it into money, thereby reducing your magic item count, but not putting the item out for other people to win. Is that what you're thinking?
Basically, yes.
And also...
I thought we decided we weren't having the magic item economy.
What?
No, this is a sneaky way of getting a higher number of dice.
The way that it works in Evenstar, at least, because Evenstar is a large city, is that you can sell items for half the book value of the item.
And then get more dice.
Yeah.
Technically, your dice is calculated on how many magic items you have. I have a feeling we're heading towards the argument that I'd been hoping to avoid by having the system, but there we go.
Have we added up all the other sort of cash and stuff that we've got?
There's a rug. There's a magical rug that's worth about 500 gold pieces. There was about 60 gold pieces, I think, of other stuff. I can tell you.
There's 500 GP worth of jewellery.
Oh, there we go.
And
Just total it all up.
So we got 1,000 GPs worth.
So what are you putting in the pot, Dan?
200 each.
Well, that's the decision. Are you going to wait until you can go out and sell things that you have in order to reduce your item count and turn it
I think
into
we should
cash?
do that. We should take all the stuff to
And
the
we
authorities.
a long rest as well.
Have a long rest and then roll for the magic.
Yeah.
Well, what were you thinking of selling? I mean, I might want to buy it.
Half plate
Magic half plate.
plus 1 half plate.
I'm wearing half plate already.
Are you?
I'll buy it off you.
Yeah.
After the magic rolls.
No.
How much money do you want for it?
Well, it's 1750 is the list price. So, something in the region of £1,000.
I've got 424 gold pieces plus whatever I'm getting.
So that's 166 GP each.
What? Why?
500 for the rug, 500 by the jewellery.
Yeah, and there's 5 of us.
I thought there were 6 of us.
No,
That's-
but
you're
I
right.
don't get any. I don't
There
get
are
the money. I
5
think it's
of us.
probably
You're
cruel.
right.
Yeah.
So 200 each.
DM share, innit? Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Commission. All right. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks very much.
200 each.
Buy yourself a drink.
200 each.
I want to sell the half plate. Bugraft, do you want it for 1125?
If I sell my half plate that I've got on the moment for half value, I should have enough.
Can I take it that you are leaving the Sodden Hold?
Yes.
Okay.
Taking all the papers and things.
And
Yeah,
you're
we've got all
heading
those in the-
to, I think there was a tavern that you decided that you might stay in, but I don't know if that you finally settled upon it because you.
When we talk about authorities, can you just remind... So the Sorcerer's Spire is where What's-Her-Face is.
What's her face?
I've... The
Elegance,
Well,
no,
I'll
she's
say-
got a house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Where's,
no, the
where's,
Sorcerer's
where's,
Spire is the University of Wizardry.
where's Eligos?
If we look at the map of Evenstar, Eligos resides in a district called Nine Deeps, which is the sort of most prestigious district of Evenstar, and she lives in a street called the Street of Fountains. And you know the address. Hesty Testapod gave it to you before you left the cave near Diamond Lake.
Is she an authority? I thought she was a head of some order or something. wasn't she?
Eligos is, well, she's just been recommended to you by Hesty Testapod. She is a sort of a sage, an academic, an archaeologist.
Right, so not an authority, but she has people working for her. Okay, so...
Well, she had Alessandra
Alessandra.
working for her.
yeah, but we've got all this stuff that we need to give to the authorities, right?
So you're the authorities.
Yes.
That's different.
Yes.
So
The
the
police.
place you would start in terms of the authorities is, I mean, I don't know if you can just march up to the front door and see how you do, but nestled at the foot of Marshal's Mount, where the keep is, there's the governor's palace, which is kind of where the city civic administration is run from. That would probably be a decent place to start with your bag of evidence. That's actually also in Nine Deeps, really only just round the corner from Eligos's house. You're only about 4 blocks north of all of
Well,
this.
we should go and see her.
Why don't we just go and sell everything? Then we can go and do the handover documents.
Yes.
Because you never know what will happen when we hand over the documents. Someone might
Yeah.
arrest
Yes.
us,
Yes.
and you may never get to sell whatever it is you want to
Yeah.
sell.
We do a long rest, then go and sell all the stuff, and then roll off for all the magic, and then go and hand over the documents.
Sounds like a plan.
Are you taking your long rest in your hidden in your
Yes.
your right?
Yes. Let's go and sell the stuff
After we've had the long rest.
after.
So we're going to take the long rest in our new lair. This is now ours.
That's true.
Nobody else resides
Well,
there.
apart from the Mind Flayer.
Well, we can deal with them.
We don't know about the Mind Flayer yet. Yes.
Yeah, we need to be a little bit careful.
Well, everywhere has a drawback. Small garden.
Well, it could also be trained as a guard dog.
Yeah.
Noisy
Mind
neighbour.
Flayer in the closet.
Okay, so let's take the long rest.
Maybe you adopt this complex of secret chambers
At
As
least
your-
for a long rest.
as your base, certainly for a long rest. Then you emerge. I need to ask Graham, the rules counsellor. I have a question for you. Can you take more than one 8-hour long rest in a 24-hour period?
I don't know. Yes, I guess so. I mean,
Okay,
it's time,
let's
isn't
assume
it?
you can. I'm sure one of our readers, both of our readers, might. No, they're not going to write in, are they? Anyway, whatever.
It's an abstract concept, isn't it?
So it's still
I'll check.
Ut, the 21st of February, and now it will be kind of morning. You emerge into a crisp, bright February day in Evenstar. Where do you want to head to do something about selling your
To
stuff?
the magic shop.
Alessandra can help here.
The armourers. You want to sell armour, don't you?
Alessandra kind of knows these things. You don't really have that much in the way of magic shops. You go to a place called Lyard, which is you've got kind of various gambling halls and things like that where you can kind of trade them.
Gambling
It's
halls.
It's kind of local authorities don't really take much notice of it because it's not really allowed, but that's where you go and do it.
You're not allowed to sell things. There's no mercantile economy here.
You want to jump in?
Yeah.
Exploring the tunnels under the city is forbidden without an official commission. The number one source of looted treasure is from freebooters who explore illegally under the city. So officially, the city frowns upon individuals hawking around magical artifacts for money. They just don't like it very much. Nevertheless, they turn a blind eye to the bustling market in magical items that takes place in the gambling halls down a long strip called the Paths of Probability, which is where all the gambling halls are located. Alessandra is right. That is where it all happens. And the money is laundered effectively through the tables.
You can't take more than one long rest in a 24-hour period.
You can't. So actually, we're talking about you waiting around until Moon Day, the 22nd of February.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Fair enough. That's fine.
And then you can head to the Paths of Probability, which run through, they kind of snake through Lyard, which is a bit of a rundown district. Theatres, ale halls, dragon chess houses, and gambling halls, casinos, which is where,
Excellent.
sessions, you're in your element. There's Squeezer's Palace.
Sounds good.
There's the DMGM Grand.
DMGM Grand. Excellent.
God. Yeah. And if you sidle around one of these establishments, you can find buyers for the gear that you want to sell. And you can ask and make inquiries about gear that you want to buy. That will, of course, cost you more. Depending upon how difficult it is to acquire something that you're after, you may have to wait. And you may have to wait a little bit of time to get a buyer. As in, I've got a suit of armour to sell. The person you're talking to doesn't just open a bag of holding and hand you a pile of gold pieces. It's more like there's a network. It's like they've got the gossip network of all gossip networks, these traders that hang around, lurk around in the gambling halls. So you ask the right person the right question, you may have to wait a bit, but something will happen. Consumables, by the way, well, Alessandra can tell you about consumables.
Well, consumables. There's
Being well prepped, Paul.
There's a few shops where Lyard borders the Cloak and Dagger district. The students at the Sorcerer's Spire craft potions and scrolls to sell in order to supplement their income. There you go.
Basically, Lyard kind of abuts the Cloak and Dagger. And Cloak and Dagger is a district that's close to the Sorcerer's Spire. So there's where the two districts bleed into each other, you have a bit of a hybrid area where trainee wizards sell stuff.
And they all abut 9 dips.
Why is there a bridge called the Only Bridge when there's
Because
actually
when it was
two
built,
of them?
it was the only bridge.
Okay.
I mean, ask a silly question. You tout around your clobber. You can find the right people to talk to. Who wants to sell what?
I want to sell half plate plus 1.
I thought Johnny wanted to buy that.
Well, Johnny has first refusal. If
Okay.
Bugraft wants to buy it,
Yes,
he
I
can have first
buy,
refusal.
but I have to sell my half plate first.
But it's non-magical, your half plate. You can just sell that in Lyard has got smithies, foundries. Resined is really where all the kind of metalworking takes place.
So half price,
You can find an armourer where you'd be selling at half price, yeah.
375. So
Don't you need to get it clean first, Bugraft?
Can you make 1125?
No, I can't at the moment.
How short are you, Uncle Buggy?
How short are you?
I am.
It's about 3'2".
I've got 999 gold pieces.
I'll lend you the balance.
Well, you can owe me the other. If you give me 925,
Yeah.
you can owe me 200.
Okay, that's fair enough. Thanks.
Make sure you write that down somewhere.
I am certainly
No,
writing that
forget
down.
about that, won't we?
Okay, so Buggy, you're down to 7 magic dice. Burple, you're up to 12 dice. You're up to 12 dice. Yeah. What next?
Yeah, up to 12 dice. How does he get up to 12 dice?
Because I've only got 2 Monday nights. So I then want to buy. No, I'm fine.
Yeah, no, of course. I was wondering how long it would take you to work that one out.
No, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Let's now roll for the magic.
I'll do my shopping later.
Yeah, I'll do my
Okay.
shopping later.
And like I said, it'll take time to source stuff. Can be hours if it's something really common and whatever, but more likely days, could be weeks if you
Okay,
ask
I'm looking for a
something really
plus
rare.
1 breastplate.
A +1 breastplate. Somebody would probably be able to find you one of those within a couple of days.
Okay.
And it will cost you, it's 1,500 plus the cost of a breastplate, right?
And the cost of a breastplate, I think, is 400 GP, so it's 1,900 GP.
And it will take him a few days to secure one for you.
Okay, so I'm about 200 short, Graham. Can I borrow 200 off you? Can I pass on Johnny's debt to you?
You mean the debt I was going to lend him? So he
Yeah.
could pay you the full amount?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's 200. I'll just add that
200.
to
You secure your order with a deposit of half the value, and then you pay the balance when they turn up with the item. And you just have to kind of trust that they're going to do what they're going to do, which they will do.
Okay.
Anybody else want to sell anything before we do our magic allocation?
No fun.
So let's go through the items that we have to win. Can somebody start some?
Start the conveyor belt.
Well, we need some music or something. Our 4 items tonight are...
No. Oh, that's Anglia Television. Yeah, television.
Yeah, so here we go.
From Norwich,
It's the quiz of the week.
it's the quiz of the week.
Hello! First of all, up this week we have a Ring of Protection +2. Be the envy of your friends and the scourge of your enemies with this beautiful, beautiful ring. Forged from 24 carat something,
Mithril.
featuring a shield design inset with over 24 individual diamonique stones. The ring offers a +2 bonus to armor class. We've thrown in a +2 save package as well. Perfect as a gift for a loved one, or maybe treat yourself.
God, Mike, you sound exactly like
what? Like Mike.
well, like those programs.
Next up, on our item roster, we have a Great Axe of Frost +1. It's a stunning Great Axe, crafted in only the finest materials. How sharp is that blade? +1 sharp, if you're wondering. And it has a surprise in store. Give your enemies a chilly reception with just 1d6 cold damage on a successful strike. Next up, we have the Wand of Cure Wounds, a perfect gift for a friend or relative who is carrying a life-threatening injury. I can't keep this up. Whittled from a single piece of willow, this wand is capped in attractive copper and can be used to cast Cure Wound spells at various slots. But be careful of those charges. Last and least, ladies and gentlemen, the word legendary is often overused. But feast your eyes on the short sword of the East Wind. It's short, it's +1, and it has only 9 previous owners. Decent addition. Some light wear to the hilt pommel. We've also got a scroll of, it's boring, scroll of
Dominate person.
Yeah, I forgot right.
Dominate person, Dan,
Yes.
you could use that scroll as a bard.
I might be able to use it as well, actually. I've
Yeah,
just
it may well
realised.
be on your.
I think it's on the
it just needs to be
trickster
on your spell
list.
list for you to be able to decipher it. I think if it's above a level that you can cast, I think you have to make a roll. In fact, I posted the rules in the
You did.
chat earlier today.
Just wanna
Bard spells. There we go.
Oh, yeah, it's on my spell list.
Yeah, it's on mine too.
Well, let's keep it as a party item, Dan, and then if we need it, one of us can cast it.
Yeah.
It's a one-use item, but we might
Yeah,
as
it's a
well keep
one-use
it 'cause
item.
two of
Yeah.
us can actually use it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready to receive your bids.
Are you going to take all the bids for all the items?
I think you
Or are
should.
we, yeah, I
Yes.
think you should. I think we should
Yes.
just...
I'm watching the bidding boards.
It's coming in now.
From Purple. It's coming in now. I'm seeing the numbers light up. I have a bid from Uncle Buggy. I have a bid from Sessions Epa. And I have a bid from Parker. And finally, yes, a bid from Alessandra. Okay, let's go. Let's start then. Let's start with running from top to bottom on my list, starting with the ring. Parker bids 6 dice. Buggy bids no dice. Purple bids 12 dice. Alessandra bids 12 dice.
I told you,
Sessions
mate.
bid no dice. Let's roll.
You rolled
Oh, it's a bit shit.
33, 26 from Lucas.
That was
close.
That was
Close.
42 from
42 from Alessandra, who wins the ring.
Fucker.
Next up is the axe, which goes to Buggy, who was the only person that bid with 7 dice. Next comes the wand, which goes to Sessions, who was the only person who bid with 6 dice. Nobody bid for the sword, which stays in the pot, and we have finished the magic allocation. And I'm sorry, you may not like some of that system, but that was quick. Right.
That
That
works fine.
works.
Can I go and now sell my +1 greatsword, which I'm no longer using?
Yeah, I mean, you could sell the short sword of the East Wind, for example.
Did no one bid for that?
I mean, it would be a tragedy.
It's got some sort of historical value there.
Or it can just hang around and wait for the next time that somebody wants to. I don't know. If people really wanted it, people would have put dice in for it. That's the way the system works.
Yeah.
Tonight's beer, by the way, is again Glad or to pale. Paul, they do a thing where they kind of evolve their recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what they're doing is selling you their market research, which is, cheeky. But they basically mark up the beers and say this is recipe variant 2, 3, whatever.
Oh, that's
Clever piece of marketing.
yeah.
Can I sell my +1 greatsword? I don't know how much that would be worth.
You can sell your +1 greatsword for 525 gold pieces. I presume you're sitting in the corner of some casino somewhere, picking up the dice from one of the tables and allocating the magic to yourselves.
Craps.
Yeah, playing craps, yeah. What next?
Well, we want to go and return
To the authorities.
The authorities, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty straightforward process, actually. If you visit City Hall, the Governor's Palace, there's a fairly standard kind of setup in the sense that you can walk into the open atrium and there are a couple of people behind desks who take general public inquiries, and you walk up and,
heave the stuff onto the desk and go, take a look at that, or something.
Well, a sort of low-level functionary looks very sniffily at you, pulls out a pair of glasses, and she starts leafing through them and looking pretty dismissive. But the further that she leafs through them, the slower her leafing becomes and the less dismissive she looks. And every now and again she starts looking up at you. She says, "Where did you get these?"
We found them.
Fell off the back of a cart after that incident.
Okay. May I take a name?
Jeff.
Okay.
The Jeff.
Jeff. Okay, she won't say. So I made the checkout to.
No, look, we'll give her the address.
I made the checkout to Jeff. Yeah.
The check.
The reward.
This is very interesting material. I'm going to, if you wouldn't just, would you mind just waiting here for a moment? And she leaves about half the papers on the desk, but takes about half of them with her. She disappears through a door, and there's an extended wait. A light filters through the windows. People come and go. There's a sort of squeak of chairs being moved, kind of echoed around, kind of big hallway. After about half an hour, she comes out with another officer who looks like she's a member of the regiment, a member of the Order of the Broken Staff. She's wearing their sort of standard leather armour with the emblazoned, moulded mark of the piece of broken bread, which is the foundation of the order. And this officer walks up to you. She says, "Did you bring these papers in?"
What's it to you?
They're very interesting. She's sort of got...
Yes, we did.
The functionary has got most of the papers that she took away with her, and she's sort of sorting them back into the pile that she left behind. But this member of the regiment, she extends a hand to... Let me roll randomly. I mean, the best person to extend a hand to, obviously, is Parker, because he can extend a hand from,
15 foot away.
Well, I'm not sure she wants me to extend a hand from...
She extends a hand to Burple. She says, "My name is Captain Smen Hendley."
Hello, Captain
me-
Smen Hendley.
Miss, what's your name again?
My name is Miss Smoo.
Miss Smoo here. She says that you didn't say where you'd found these.
No, we give her the address of the warehouse. We tell her the backstory.
I know it. She sort of seems to make a mental note. These are worth... it looks like you found something rather explosive, if that's the right term. I think the city owes you a debt of gratitude. Would you be prepared to hand these papers to me? I can give you a receipt, of course. And would you be prepared to leave a contact address so that if we needed to ask you any more questions, we could? Because if you would be prepared to do that, I'd be prepared to offer you now a reward of 2,000 gold pieces for this information.
Ooh. Okay, sounds like a deal.
Excellent. Now, let's get all of the paperwork sorted. Smoo, can you do that, please?
Yes, of course I can do that. Captain Smen Hendley.
And there's a bit of sort of footling about with bits of paper and a stamp that's used sort of passive-aggressively. Lots of kind of... Yes, okay, fine, I can just do the thing. And you are handed 2,000 gold pieces in a city-marked drawstring bag or two.
Lovely.
400 GP each?
Yes.
And
I get 600. Someone's giving me 200 back now.
you were given a receipt on stamped municipal paper for the papers. It just says assorted papers potentially leading to the arrest of criminals, and you have to hand her an address. Which address do you hand her? This is going to be funny.
Let's give her...
Hesty Testapots.
Well, you can give her Eligos's address.
Yeah, give her Eligos's address.
Okay, well, when you hand over Eligos's address, she looks at it, looks at you, raises an eyebrow, pockets the piece of paper, says, "Very well. Thank you very much. The city is grateful.
Excellent.
I won't hold you up any longer."
Where are we
And
staying
Dan, you
again?
repay your 200 debt, yeah?
So I'd pass that on to Johnny. So Johnny had paid you.
Johnny
200.
pays me my 200 debt then. Thank you, Johnny.
Yes.
And how much do we get?
Well,
400
yes, I
each.
did that already.
Everyone gets 400 apart
Yeah,
from
but
Johnny
Graham
gets
wasn't in the room
200
when
and
you
I want
said
my
it.
600.
Yeah.
Now, quick
So-
question. Does anyone want to buy the pipe of smoking from me?
What does that do again?
It's like 1d8 of healing once a day.
How much?
Bale of hay.
Bale of hay. It's like, I'm trying to work out what Mike said it was worth. It's worth
Well, I mean, on the open market, you'd be lucky to get
250 gold pieces.
250 gold pieces for it, yeah.
It's all gone very quiet.
It's 1 round action or 1d8 healing.
It's a standard action. You can use it
Standard
once
action.
per day for a d8's worth of healing.
No, I'll buy it off you.
In your own
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Sell it to you for 200.
Done.
Excellent.
It counts against your magic.
A very admin-y session.
Then we
Yeah.
go and see Eligos. I want to know when that armor comes in. It's currently I have an armor class of 12.
Do you? I'm a class 12. How does buying armor work then?
You have to pay half the money and wait.
Yeah, but it's 1,500 plus the value of the armor, is it?
Yes.
Yes, exactly right.
Oh, okay.
We can tidy up any issues you have around visiting the gambling halls to do some more item trading or purchasing later. What do you want to do now?
Go and see Eligos.
You want to go and see Eligos. It's just around the corner from City Hall, so that's a relatively straightforward little trip. 9 Deeps is a very well-appointed area. Broad streets, expansive plazas, high-status buildings. You find your way up the Street of Fountains and you find Eligos's house. It's a white stone wall, a manicured yard, trimmed hedges, exotic fauna. It's eternal spring. It's very like Hestitestopod's little plot of land, even though it's the 22nd, I think, of February and a crisp late winter, early spring day. In Eligos's garden, there's exotic ferns and tropical fauna, and it seems warmer and brightly coloured birds flit from tree to tree. There's a cobbled path that you can walk up, flanked by a pair of pools. There's statues of rearing dragons and a big white marble manor house with gilded double doors in front of you. But before you get about halfway up the path, a figure appears. Wringing its hands is an elderly gentleman.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Bunce Bumper Umper. May I inquire as to the nature of your visit?
Yeah, we came to experience your accent.
Oh, no. Marvellous. The accent may even hold together for sentences, whole sentences at a time. Actually, thinking about it, it's sort of falling apart already. Anyway, well,
It's a bit. Okay,
may I inquire as to the nature of your visit?
we were recommended to your mistress by a Hestitestopod.
Wait a second, isn't that young Alessandra I see at the
I
back?
was gonna
Yes.
say,
Hello, Bonds.
Hello, Alessandra.
Bonds, how are you?
Are these people with you?
Yes, they are.
Well, come in.
He
Thank you.
beckons you forwards.
I will find my mistress for you.
He takes you through these giant doors. There's a huge lobby. As you walk in, there's a bit of a weird moment where you see yourselves coming towards you on the other side of the lobby. You look like yourselves, but you don't look like yourselves. And then you realise that you're looking at a giant mirror, and that there isn't really an opening out into a more garden behind the lobby. It's just this huge mirror that sits in a sort of recess at the far side of the lobby. And you realise you're still wearing outward bound Ranger Militia leathers, the disguises that you were originally wearing.
Yeah.
And you just look like different people. It's a kind of weird moment where you kind of see yourselves and then you're not yourselves, and then you sort of shake it off. And he takes you up this wide, sweeping staircase. And he's,
If you wouldn't mind taking it. Alessandra, you would look after our guests. That'd be all right. I will get. I'm going to get some refreshment and get my mistress. If you can just wait here, please.
and he points you into a parlor. There's bookcases, there's paintings with strange vistas, strange locations. There's a painting of what you assume must be the barrier cliffs that Evenstar sits on top of, but painted, as it were, from the perspective of being down in the lands that wait, looking up through lush foliage, up at these rearing miles-high cliffs with birds wheeling and clouds above you. It's kind of slightly strange because nobody, as far as you know, nobody ever would travel there. There's a painting of the Orcian system, all of the planets as they're, a bit like your orrery. A long strip painting that runs all the way along one wall showing all of the planets. There's a painting of a vast ashen plain. There's a rug across a well-polished wooden floor, and the rug depicts some battle between the forces of good and evil. And Bonce Bomper Omper Up flits backwards and forward. Every time he pops in, he brings something else. So it's like a little tray of mints, and then it's tea, and then it's water, and then sweetmeats. And every time he's like, oh, she won't be long, she won't be in a second. And eventually, this middle-aged woman does in fact appear. She's wearing a red robe. Her eyes are wells of sort of a deep grey, but there are specks of red in her eyes. Her hair is red, like a vibrant crimson, but there's a bit of grey at the temples. And she sort of regards you from the doorway. She looks at Alessandra, and then she looks at the rest of you. She says, you wish to speak to me? My name is Elagos. How can I be of assistance? And you can tell her how she can be of assistance next week.
Oh.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Hall of Harsh Reflections and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Hall of Harsh Reflections was written by Jason Bullman. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening!